Today we will show you the new Hyundai Venue, the second generation in its entirety, and tell you how it drives. Now Hyundai has given it over 60 changes, and it needed to, because the previous one had started showing its age. The new one has changes in tech, space, style and safety. So let's get right into it. In terms of design, this car now boasts significant changes. Gone is the curvy style of the previous generation for a more muscular stance in the new Venue. It has a more upright front face, a more muscular bonnet line, and this connected DRL with these L-shaped LEDs to give it more road presence. On the profile, we start with these 16-inch diamond-cut alloy wheels. And also worth noticing is that this car is now 48 mm taller and has a more straighter roofline, which will pay dividends inside when I start talking about it. On the rear too, we get these connected DRLs, wraparound tail lamps and redesigned bumper. Overall, Hyundai has also widened the tracks by about 30 mm, making this car probably the best looking sub-4 meter SUV in the segment now. That's my opinion, you tell me yours in the comments. And the changes continue on the inside as well. In fact, the changes on the inside are even more significant. Hyundai has done a good job of mixing aesthetics, practicality and tech. And it starts with this dual 12.3-inch screen for the digital cluster and the infotainment system. It's very BMW inspired and is driver focused, making the visibility very easy for it. The dual tone interior here is a mix of beige and blue, which I'm not sure will be to everyone's liking, but I personally think it gives it a more contemporary look, and it will also probably appeal to the young generation. At the same time, the steering is now this slight D-shaped steering. It doesn't have a proper flat bottom like we are used to in Volkswagens and Skodas, but it does give it a good aesthetic. And also, the H logo has been replaced by this Morse code logo, which basically still means H in Morse code. But if you're missing the H logo, you find it here on the key. On the practicality aspect, Hyundai has given at least 3 spaces for your phone. You can keep it here on the wireless charger, on this pad here, or stick it here, whatever you like. At the same time, there are some other storage spaces as well, like this small cubby hole under the armrest. There's some space here above the dashboard, including the dashboard itself, and spaces for your bottles on the door pocket. The materials used here in the interiors are genuinely very premium, and in fact, I would say are probably among the best used in the segment right now. These seats are extremely soft and hold you very well. The crash pad material used here is called terrazzo. Now we are driving the 1.5-litre diesel engine which comes in this Venue. It produces 114 bhp and 250 Newton meters of torque. There are other 2 engines available, which is the 1.2-litre naturally aspirated petrol and the 1-litre turbo as well. These engines are unchanged from the previous generation, nor is their power. But what has changed is this. This now gets the 6-speed automatic gearbox in the diesel engine, which was not there before. Now what we also get on this car are 3 drive modes which can be selected through this button here, which are Eco, Normal and Sport, and also 3 traction modes which are Snow, Mud and Sand. It was there before in the Hyundai Venue and it still continues to remain there. Just a side note, if you are driving a Hyundai Venue N-Line, these buttons come here on the steering wheel, which looks quite cool to be honest. And good on you, Hyundai, for giving all these engine and gearboxes to the consumer. As for the engine and this gearbox combination itself, it works very seamlessly and provides a very smooth driving experience. If you do want to push it through, you can use these paddle shifts to downshift a couple of gears, and you will get a sudden surge of power as well. Now this is a typical diesel engine, which means that before 2000 RPM there is a bit of a turbo lag, and after that when the turbo starts spooling is when all that said torque comes into play. But the other thing that I really did want to speak about is its ride quality. Now the Venue has never been known for its ride quality, and it still continues with the same McPherson strut in the front and the torsion beam in the rear, coupled with the coil spring. And the ride quality has improved a little bit, but not so much. It is not the benchmark for ride quality in the segment. I still believe it will be between the 3XO and the Nexon. The suspension is on a stiffer side, and that causes the car some lateral movements when you go over bad patches of roads. On the flip side, the car is a great handler.
throw it around the corners and the car seems to enjoy it and comes out the other side unfazed. The steering is very precise as well and has got the right amount of weight and feedback.
What it has improved in is the NVH level. Now that is a consequence of the new platform, more soundproofing and a better overall build quality. Now talking a little bit about the dual screen here, most of it has a very dark background. Even during the day, it does not change into a lighter background. It does not really cause any visibility issues per se, but it would have been nicer to have a slightly lighter background, as that would have been easier to spot some of things. Frankly, I am just nitpicking because I'm finding it a bit hard to find negatives in this car. This is also fine. I'm just talking about my personal preference right now.
Personal preferences aside, the car is well loaded with features like wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, front ventilated seats, electronic parking brake, remote engine start, a crisp 360-degree camera, voice commands in 5 Indian languages, and a 8-speaker Bose amplified audio system, which sounds better than it did before.
The new K1 Global Enhanced platform also gets a lot of hot stamping around, which means that the overall chassis is more sturdier than before, which adds to the safety as well. But what it also does is adds to the weight of the car. Now, I'm not sure how much weight has been added, but I do not think it's very significant, and the only change in tuning to the suspension is probably to deal with that weight. Now, before I talk more about the safety features of this car, I wanted to talk to you about the over-the-air updates feature that Hyundai has been really raving about. Now, what that means is that this car does not just get infotainment-based over-the-air updates, it also gets ECU-based over-the-air updates. What that means is that Hyundai can roll out new features, new layout for the dash, and other things all through just an internet update without the need of visiting a service center. Now, theoretically, they can also diagnose your car without you actually having to visit the service center, but I'm not sure if Hyundai is yet going to that level, or maybe they are. We'll find out over time. Now, coming back to safety, this car also gets level 2 ADAS with 16 features. And so far, from whatever I have used, the ADAS hasn't been as intrusive as it is in most cars. But we do really need to drive a lot more than we are able to drive on a first drive to give a final verdict on that ADAS. And the comfort continues at the rear. The seat cushioning is still great, and now there's even more space than before. Now, this is a sub 4 meter car, which means it is limited by the length that it can go to. So it is 3995 mm in total, same as before. But Hyundai has managed to increase the wheelbase by 20 mm. And what they've also done smartly is reduce the under thigh support to give it more knee room. Now, the reduction of the under thigh support has in no way affected the overall comfort of this seat, so which means that it is a good decision. And at the same time, the headroom here is really good. Even someone up to 6'3" or 6'4" can easily sit here, and I'm 5'10". And a great thing that Hyundai has added is this sun blind. Now, talking about the seat width itself, it's really good for these individual 2 seats. 3 people can sit on this seat, but while there is a 3-point seat belt for the middle, there is no headrest here, which means that the middle seat is at best for somebody who's a child. And finally, while there were so many storage spaces in the front, at the back, Hyundai has kept on a seat pocket.
The boot space has also increased slightly to 375 liters, and the spare tire is non-alloy.
Now, the Hyundai Venue starts at 7.9 lakh rupees for the naturally aspirated petrol, 8.8 lakh rupees for the turbo-petrol, and 9.7 lakh rupees for the diesel variant. The N-line variant starts at 10.55 lakh. But here's the thing, some of the features that I showed you come as standard in all the variants. For example, the 6 airbags, the ESC, the wireless Android Auto and CarPlay, and even the dual screen up front are all standard. Hyundai has loaded this with bells and whistles, which people think that they will really like. But at the same time, this is about 60,000 more expensive variant to variant than its very own cousin, the Sonnet. Now, for that money, you're getting a more future-ready car with all the OTA updates and a safer car with the new global enhanced K1 platform.
The price difference increases when you start comparing it with other cars like the Mahindra 3XO, which at its top variant for the turbo petrol is about 90,000 cheaper than this. In fact, the Venue is priced very closely to the Kia Ceros. We will get them together soon to compare and find out if the extra price is worth it.
What did you think about the Hyundai Venue, and what did you think about its styling most of all? Let us know in the comments, and if you have any questions, do drop them in the comments, as we will reply to all of them. Thank you for watching this video, and if you like this, do hit the like button and subscribe to the Evo India channel.